Hello, I'm Claire at the Fintech Times and we're here in Amsterdam at Money 2020. I'm delighted to be joined this morning by a Fintech Power 50 member, IDVerse. Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good, thanks. Would you like to introduce yourself firstly to our audience?
Sure, I'm Russ Cohn. I'm General Manager for EMEA for OCR Labs, now called IDVerse.
I was going to ask that because I very nearly said OCR Labs at the start, so you have had a big name change. Can you tell me more about why and what's behind it?
Yeah, we're still OCR Labs, but the brand we're going to market with is IDVerse, and we're very excited about it. IDVerse reflects a much broader understanding of our solution, so it's obviously identity, it's universal, it's inclusive, and so it represents the brand and its diversity, diverse as well. So there's a lot that you can read into it. It's really about being able to help anyone, anywhere, anytime across the world with our solution for ID verification and fraud protection. So we help banks and governments and businesses around the world to be able to onboard their customers very easily with an easy user experience and to stop fraud at the door using the techniques that we use to do that for fraud protection.
So you mentioned quite a few industries there. What kind of companies are you working with at the moment?
So we work with banks across the world, tier one banks. We work with crypto companies. We work with, we're about to announce a very large tier one bank as well that we work with. Work with employment agencies, car companies for age verification as well, and for onboarding to car ride and car sharing. So the use cases for identity verification are increasing beyond financial services at quite a rapid rate.
A lot of talk today so far at the show. The first session I saw was all about AI and generative AI, and that's a big part of your technology, isn't it? Why is it so important today?
So AI is something we've been using since the outset and development of our solution about 8 years ago. So it's deeply embedded into what we do. It's recently, everybody's talking about ChatGPT, right? So you can't, it's on everyone's lips, and they're seeing the real life understanding of linguistic networks and the fact that you can do linguistic programming and using artificial intelligence, and you can get these answers using kind of text. So we are pioneering something called neural visual processing, which is essentially taking AI for identities. Now, fraudsters use AI to develop synthetic identities. So we train our models on those synthetic identities, to be inclusive, to make sure that we take in all people across the world of all skin tones, all colors, genders, races across the world. And we also train in synthetic so that we can stop the fraudsters who are using the same technology. So nobody's really done this for imaging. They're doing it for text and everybody's seeing the benefits. We are doing that with visual processing, and we think that will stop the fraudsters from entering into the systems who are using the same techniques to generate those synthetic IDs.
Because it's kind of taking one step ahead of the fraudster.
Well, you have to constantly be ahead because they're using the same technologies, if not better ones sometimes than we are. And you have to build a system that allows users to easily get on board, but at the same time feel protected and safe. So you want a good user experience, but you want to make sure you're protected. And banks particularly, most institutions of course, but banks particularly will need that for AML and for KYC. You want to make sure that you're doing the best job and that you aren't letting fake people into your business or fraudsters.
Because you recently announced a partnership with Experian, and I think they touched on in the announcement that it was part of that technology that they were wanting to kind of complement their solutions. How are you working with them?
So we're integrated into their cross-core technology, and we're very excited to power Experian's ID identity verification globally. So this is really going to help them to go to market for their customers, to take the best technologies and help them to stop fraud, because that's something that they've been working with is a bit of battling that user experience and making sure people can go through quickly but yet safely at the same time. So we can speed up that process and get people on board really quickly, but at the same time make sure they're protected with the technology that we use, using AI, using neural networks, so we understand where fraud's coming from and we can learn from those systems. What it also does is we have global document coverage of over 16,000 documents because we use artificial intelligence to do that. You can't have humans looking at so many documents all the time and understanding where fraud is. So you need machines to do a lot of the heavy lifting, and they really were excited by the appeal of what we could bring to them to be able to do that anywhere, for anyone, any time in the world.
That's great. Obviously here, Money 2020, how have you found the first day so far?
Yeah, as usual, it's very exciting. The weather's great, so it's a bit hot in there, but it's certainly busy, and it's a bigger and better show than it was before. But it looks like it's got a diverse set of companies and businesses. We've just had a speaking slot around gaming and how the financial services industry can learn from the gaming industry, because we spend a lot of time in that as well. So what they're doing, I think, is broadening the reach to a much wider audience of people who are interested in technology. Obviously, financial services is the core here, but we're seeing a very diverse and interested audience from across the world come in. So as usual, it's very, very exciting.